Your wish is your command. This was a CD set that was produced years ago, and it was pretty easy to find, but recently it's getting hard and hard to find the CD set. I'm going to share with you how you can get the CD set completely for free. It's very easy. You want to first go to any one of my videos, and there's going to be a link in the descriptions. You want to click on that link. Once you click on that link, it's going to take you to a sales page. Now, if you don't want to read the sales page, it's perfectly fine. You can just tap this buy now button. Tapping on this buy now button is going to take you to the order page. From here, you need the coupon code. The coupon code is YWIYC. You want to hit apply. Once you hit apply, you can see the discount code has been applied, saving yourself $500. You want to come back on the top, fill out your contact, billing, and payment information, and tap complete your order. It's not going to charge you anything. They want to find people who are actually serious about this program. Now, after you hit complete your order, you want to check your inbox. In your inbox, you should see the email. For whatever reason, if it's not in your inbox, check your spam folder. If it's in your spam folder, re-drag it back into your inbox and go from there. Tap in that email, tap it on that email. There's going to be a link, and tapping on that link will take you to the CD set. Okay, it's an audio series. You can put it on your phone, you can download it, put it in your MP3 player, listen to it when you're driving, folding laundry. What is this program all about? If you're into any of these authors or speakers, such as Napoleon Hill, Bob Proctor, Jim Rohn, Joe Vitale, Tony Robbins, Earl Nightingale, Joe Dispenza, Zig Ziglar, Brian Tracy, Les Brown, Charlie Tremendous Jones, Cadet Robert, Ed Foreman, Joe Bauer, Grant Cardone, Dennis Whaley, Marshall Silver, Neville Goddard. If you're into any of these authors or speakers, this is definitely up your alley. I'm going to share with you the lessons that I learned from Your Wish is Your Command. This is a CD set that was introduced to me by my own brother a couple of years ago. And every single year, I re-listen to the CD set, continue to better my life, my personal development. I want to share with you how to impact my life. Now, I've been on this personal development journey for quite a long time. Since my early 20s, I've been reading books on different personal development programs. And I saw some progress throughout the years, but this program really took it to the next level. Because when you're going after personal development, there are many different pieces, and how do these pieces actually fit together? And Kevin Trudeau, he does an amazing job putting these pieces together. Just a little bit about myself. We'll talk more about myself later through this presentation. Of course, if you're joining us on this call, you can put any questions you have regarding your wish is your command. The very first lesson is, who do you listen to? The second lesson is the Teachability Index. The third lesson is the Training Balance Scale. And finally, the last lesson is 4 steps to learning or mastery. The very first lesson is, who do you listen to? Who do you listen to when you're on your path, when you're trying to better your life? Who do you listen to? According to Kevin Trudeau, he says, listen to people who have been where you are and where you want to be. These lessons, they seem very, very simple, and many people, they overlook these lessons. These lessons take about 5 minutes to learn, but a lifetime to master. As I'm going through these lessons with you, you need to reevaluate your life and look at, who are you listening to right now? You might be subscribed to a whole bunch of people on YouTube. You have a lot of email subscriptions, and they're flooding your inbox, but are they really bettering your life? Listen to people who have been where you are and where you want to be. And I want to share with you where I made the mistakes in my own personal life regarding these lessons. Years ago, I was struggling with a lot of weight loss rebound. What that means is I will lose a couple of pounds, maybe 2 to 3 pounds, and then gain it all back. Isn't that frustrating? Many people go through these cycles of weight loss rebound. And at that time, I didn't really know what to do. So the only thing that I knew was, well, I better be at the gym. I better go to the gym, get myself a personal trainer. Maybe I'm not doing the exercises right. Maybe I'm not working out with the right intensity. Maybe I'm not eating the right nutritional plan. So I went to the 24-hour fitness. I was living in downtown San Diego at the time, going down to Horn Plaza. There was a 24-hour fitness. And of course, when you're at one of these gyms, these personal trainers are going to be pulling up and going to be like, hey, I'm going to become your personal trainer. Now, the problem that I had was that these trainers at the 24-hour fitness, they were out of shape themselves. They were at a much higher body fat percentage than I was. But we've been trained to listen to all the wrong people. Now, many people will tell you, you obviously don't know what you're doing. You're working with experts over here. They wouldn't have the certifications for personal training. They probably went to school for this. That's why they're there. And that's why they are qualified to coach you. Listen to people who have been where you are and where you want to be. It's very important. Can that personal trainer really take you to the promised land regarding your personal health? So I went down that path and got myself the wrong personal trainers. I listened to people and I went to the gym and I continued that cycle of weight loss rebound. To just share a little bit by myself, a part of what I do, I teach a lot on detoxification, helping people lose weight. This is part of what I do. Before, this is me, as going down to the gym, trying to do my best, calorie counting, my fitness pal, wasn't getting it done. I remember putting on those jeans. We went out to the bar that evening, this was years ago in downtown San Diego, and I was just looking down. I'm like, dang, these jeans are getting tight. Is it because I left them in the dryer too long? I started making all these excuses, and I was putting on this shirt. I felt the t-shirt, the shirt that I was wearing was very, very tight, not just around my arms, but also around my waist. I got this shirt maybe a year and a half ago, and it fitted me perfectly fine. See, this weight is just adds on to your body very, very slowly. And if you're just doing the same thing over and over again, not getting the results that you want, come back to this first lesson. Who do you listen to? Listen to people who have been where you are and where you want to be. There was so much information off my radar screen, which I'll be showing and sharing with you later, that helped me improve my health. Now, I'm pretty much like this all year round on the right-hand side. I have six-pack abs all year around. See, this is me right here. How did I get there? Well, stick around. I'm going to show you how I got there. But first, I had to drill down. Who do I listen to? Listen to people who have been where you are and where you want to be. Coming back to the CD set, you guys got to get the CD set with Kevin Trudeau. It's completely for free. You just got to tap the link in my descriptions, take you to the sales page, click the buy now button. But the coupon code you want to be using is YWIYC. Let me give you another example, another mistake that I made in the past. People tell you when you have a health problem, a medical condition, I don't care if nasal congestion, skin condition, you got to go to your doctor and pick up some drug pharmacist, and that's how they're going to fix you up. Well, I did that for years. In my late 20s, I already had a whole bunch of health problems. I had joint problems, I had nasal congestion every single day. So I was taking a lot of those antihistamines. It was Claritin. Took them almost every single day. Get a few hours of relief. Afterwards, what happens, you get a lot of drowsy congestion. And the congestion comes back. It doesn't really help you long term. And who I've been listening to? I've been listening to these doctors, right? And they tell me the same thing over and over again. And as conditions got worse, and there were side effects that came with those other medications I was taking, going back to the pharmacist, and they were like, oh, we have other medications that will help you with those side effects. And now I'm in the trap. I'm in the trap. You guys want to see? And I was taking that Claritin every single day. I was feeling discomfort around the liver area. What a mess. Who do you listen to? Listen to people who have been where you are and where you want to be. Give you guys another example. A couple of months ago, I was at the hospital. I took a family member there to the ER. It was a pretty serious emergency. Long story short, we rolled up to the ER. Doctors been pulling up. When they check you in, they're going to tell you to do a whole bunch of different things. First, they're going to take your vitals, measure your blood pressure, respiratory rate, heart rate, and get your blood sugar. Going to take you a whole bunch of errands, do your ECG, EKG, electrocardiogram, get your x-ray done, and you're going to come back with all your lab reports. Coming back, they're going to start to critique all your lab reports. They're going to say, hey, looking at your lab results, these values are out of range, within range, out of range, within range, and they're going to upsell you to the next set of procedures, operations, maybe have you stay overnight at the hospital. That's what they do. That's what hospitals do. Have you really taken a quick look or closer look at these doctors that pulling up? Many of those doctors that I saw, they were overweight. Isn't it time for us to put our doctors at a higher standard? Because a lot of those doctors, if they're unhealthy themselves, how are they going to help you take you to the promised land? Help me understand what's going on, guys. If you're going to communicate with me, there's going to be a chat box, a live chat. You guys can type it in the chat box. Let me know your thoughts. Now, I got to give doctors a lot of credit as well. I just don't want to throw them under the bus entirely. If you're going to the hospital and it's an acute problem, you got a motorcycle accident, a trauma, they're going to be able to fix you up. They're going to stop that bleeding. Maybe they fix your bone problem. They go into operation very, very quick. They put some place, right? They're going to fix you up very, very quickly. The problem that I have with the medical industrial complex is, listen, nobody has really good answers for chronic diseases. These doctors, they're critiquing your lab results. Yet isn't it time for us to tell your doctors, listen, maybe you need to get your blood pressure measured. Let's see where your blood pressure is at. Are you struggling with a whole bunch of chronic diseases that you can resolve yourself? Right? Or some of these doctors are completely overweight. Why don't you tell them to get up on that scale? Get up on that scale, measure their weight, and measure their height. From these two numbers, you can get their body mass index. If you have a doctor pulling up and they got a BMI of over 30, how are they going to help you? Explain that to me. When you're at the ICU, another thing that you can observe is that most people, they're at the ICU, not because they got into a trauma, acute injury situation, not because they got into a car accident or motorcycle accident, nothing like that. When you're in the ICU, you'll find a whole bunch of people with chronic diseases, multiple organ failures, liver failure, we're talking about kidney failure, right? Diabetes that they can't control, and that resulted into kidney problems. You'll see many people there with jaundice. You can see many people there with edema, and people that were around my age with those type of conditions. And that is the sad state of our medical situation right now. Nobody has any real answers out there. The real answers are outside your scope of awareness. I was not going to get my six-pack abs back until I started paying attention outside my comfort zone, outside my current scope of awareness. And that's what Kevin Trudeau focuses on, because he needs to really confront your problem right now is that you're listening to all the wrong people that can't take you to the promised land. You guys understand? And it's very uncomfortable because many of you, you've entrusted certain, I would say, maybe gurus on your path, and then you have a lot of books on your bookshelf, you've been listening to them, but your life isn't really changing. So where's the disconnect? You have the information, but you may be listening to the wrong people. Me personally, I had to branch out. I had to pick up new books. I had to go after new information regarding detoxification, new information about learning about my internal organs one by one and how I can clean them out, clean all the waste material out of my small and large intestines. Later from that, I learned about how I can clear out internal parasites from my body. Later on, I learned about how I can flush out gallstones from the gallbladder and also intrahepatic stones from the liver. As I'm sharing this content with you, a lot of you may just respond with, I have no idea what you're talking about, and that's perfectly fine. I'm just sharing with you what I learned from your Wish Is Your Command, the CD set. I went through all these specific lessons one at a time. If I wasn't getting the results that I've been looking for, I'm doing something wrong. I need to change things up. I can't be doing the same thing over and over, expecting a different result. Back when I was in San Diego, I was doing the same thing, Groundhog's Day, going to the gym, trying to eat right, lose a couple of pounds, gain it all back, and then some. If you want to stop that cycle, maybe you got to pay attention to what I have to share on this presentation. Now, based on the interest and who's will be coming in on this call later on, I can share in-depth information regarding digestive health, based on the audience that be pulling up later. But that's the very first lesson. Who do you listen to? Listen to people who have been where you are and where you want to be. Another insight I can give you is many people, let's just say you're a lady in your 40s and then you had a couple of kids already. Your body's been through a lot. Not only that, there's been a lot of hormonal challenges, imbalances, maybe thyroid issues. It doesn't make sense for you to go to a 21-year-old and expect this person to help you with your personal health. Because that 21-year-old, they have no idea what you've been through. That's why you have to break down these lessons one by one and really break it apart. What does this mean? Who do you listen to? Listen to people who have been where you are, and see how I highlighted and where you want to be. So your personal trainer in your 40s, maybe somebody in their 40s and 50s, they understand where you've been through, because it could be a personal coach. They've been through all the struggles of having children. They had a lot of hormonal imbalances, thyroid issues, but thankfully they're on the other side of things now. They're completely vibrantly healthy all year around. They don't have any problems. They don't have any fluid retention. How did they get that done? They have the roadmap. They have the blueprint. You need to discover what that blueprint is. You can't use the same blueprint everybody else uses. You have to learn from many different sources and combine and mix and match the right path just for you. Before I go on talk about the teachability indexes, for people that are pulling up on this call, what you guys can do, if you want to get this program completely for free, you want to tap this first link in my descriptions. Will take you to a sales page. On the sales page, if you're at the very top, you can just scroll down a little bit. There's going to be a buy now button. A buy now button will take you to a sales page, an order page, and you want to type in the coupon code. The coupon code is YWIYC. You hit apply. It's going to give you a discount of $500. You can get this program completely for free. This is a complete free offer. After you put in your coupon code, you hit apply, you come back to the top, fill out your contact, payment, and billing information, and tap complete your order. Complete my order. After you tap complete your order, you will find the inbox. Find in your inbox, there's going to be an email. And if you don't find that email in your inbox, you want to check your spam folder. Check your spam folder and drag that email back into your inbox. You guys understand? And once you do that, you tap on the email. Tap on the email. It's going to be a link that will take you directly to your wishes, your command, this 14 audio series, your how to manifest your desires. Years ago, people paid $10,000 to attend this live event in the mountains of Swiss Alps. And Kevin, because of his generosity, is giving it out for free, that you can listen to it. Not only is this Kevin speaking, it's the whole interaction while they were out at this very, very exclusive resort that only extremely rich people, wealthy people get to attend. And you can listen to their questions, and you can see how they go back and forth. And the same questions that they have, that they had, you may have as well. So that's the very first lesson. The next lesson's extremely exciting. Is the Teachability Index. I go through these lessons every single day just to brush up and really evaluate my own teachability. Am I teachable? Am I coachable? According to Kevin Trudeau, this is quantifiable. Many people out there, they say that I'm very teachable, I'm very coachable. What does that really mean? How do you quantify something like this? Another reason why I appreciate Kevin's teaching is that, number one, it's quantifiable. It's not just about feeling good. When you're on the law of manifestation, you're watching these YouTube channels, they always say, hey, the reason why you're not manifesting because you got to do more journaling, You got to do more visualization. You got to listen to more meditation tracks. You got to buy more crystals. If the crystals are not working, you're not doing it right. Buy harder. It must be Mercury retrograde. Something is wrong, with the stars alignment. There's all this extra stuff. No. Why do you stick with Kevin stuff? First, the part about teachability index. What is your willingness to learn? What is your willingness to learn? Give yourself a score between 0 to 10. I'm going to explain how this works. Next part is what is your willingness to accept change? Also give yourself a score between 0 to 10. What is your willingness to learn? How can you quantify your willingness to learn? Very simple. What is your favorite activity right now? What is your favorite activity? Are you willing to set aside that favorite activity and actually use that time to learn something, whether you're listening to an audio CD, you're reading books, you're taking a course online, or you're attending a conference in person? You're setting aside your favorite activity. So really identify what that favorite activity is. For most people, what is their favorite activity? They go back home after work. They don't like going to work. They're going to turn on their favorite Netflix TV shows, Hulu, Amazon Prime videos. Could be watching sports, playing video games, PlayStation, fantasy football, maybe going out drinking with the boys, heading out to the clubs with their friends on the weekends. Club rat. Listen, that's their routine. They have their set of favorite activities that they prioritize. Are you willing to set those aside and say, you know what? I'm going to cancel Netflix. I'm going to cancel my Amazon Prime videos. Stop going out to the clubs. Stop playing golf with my friends. I'm going drinking with my... That's set that all aside, and now you're just focused on your personal development, which is, hey, I'm going to be listening to some audios. Could be podcasts, right? Could be reading books. Could be attending conferences online or in person. Now you're starting to move in the right direction. And now you can quantify what is your willingness to learn. Because there are 30 days in a month, right? And how many of those 30 days you're setting aside your favorite activities and you're replacing it with positive motivational content or real skills that you can learn to better your life. But if you're doing 10 days out of 30, that's 33%. So you can give yourself a score for 3 out of 10 for your willingness to learn for that month. So you guys can rewind this audio a little bit and go through the teachability index. I've explained this many times, but sometimes I don't explain it very well. You just got to listen to a couple more times. Your willingness to learn is basically setting aside your favorite activities and replacing that with audios, replacing that with books, replacing that with online courses or you're attending events in person to better your life. That's how you know if you have the willingness to learn. Because many of y'all, your life isn't changing, right? You're very frustrated. But watching yet another YouTube video on just meditating your way out of your problems is not going to get it done. Here's another thing. What is your willingness to accept change? Many people also miss this part. What is your willingness to accept change? Now that you learned the lessons, maybe you pick up the audio, you've been reading the books, and then you've been attending these online courses or attending conferences in person. Are you actually applying it day to day? Are you applying the skills, the lessons that you've learned? Many people, they have that willingness to learn 10 out of 10. They're willing to buy the programs. They saw Tony Horton on P90X, they're picking them up. They watch Tybo on infomercials, they pick up the DVD set, right? Or they're on QVC, different exercise content, or they got the Peloton. But most people, they don't do anything with it. They watch Tony Horton do the exercises, watch him do yoga, watch him do stretches, do abs exercises, but they're still out eating potato chips. So their willingness to accept change is an absolute zero. Many people, they're conference warriors. They go out to all these different conferences, fly out to different cities, go into hotels. But the problem's when they go back home where rubber meets the road. What is their willingness to accept change? Are they willing to apply what they learned in the conferences? Many people, that's why their life isn't changing. Willingness to learn could be 10 out of 10, but the willingness to accept change is 0 out of 10. You're multiplying these two numbers together. So 10 multiplied by 0 is still 0. That gives you a teachability index of 0. It's both, right? So for example, me, I wanted to lose weight. I want to get my 6-pack abs. How I'm going to get it done? Well, before I was very disciplined with my exercises, eating right, still not getting done. I had to get new information to my head. I started to go after coaches that taught about detoxification, learning how I can remove the waste material sitting in my body. I learned about how I could eliminate internal parasites out of my body, so I continue to do that. I've been doing this since 2019. Since 2019, every single week. I haven't missed a week. In fact, today I perform another detox protocol before jumping on this call because it's that important for me. I will do something every single week. In addition, as I continue to do these detox protocols, new information unlocked. New information came into my radar screen. I learned how I could flush out gallstones out of the gallbladder and also intrahepatic stones out of the liver. And I've been doing that every 2 weeks since 2023. It's 2025. And I've made so much progress in my own personal health. Right now, I'm so confident. Listen, I'm still doing exercises. This is the Mega Poop Transformation Challenge. Lose 3 to 5 pounds per month without going to the gym. I have not been to the gym for years. I do exercise at home. I go for walks. I do exercise at home. But listen, I am not forcing and killing myself in the gym like I used to. None of that stuff. Right? But I had to improve my teachability index, which is a combination of what was my willingness to learn. Am I willing to learn information? I've read through hundreds and hundreds of books on natural health. I really have. And what is my willingness to accept change? It wasn't enough for me just to know about the protocols. I actually had to do them on a consistent basis. And to be very frank, there were seasons in my life when I read through different detox protocols, and they were extremely out of my own reach. They were too daunting for me. There came a time where I was reminded certain protocols. It's either I had to go through these detox protocols or I wasn't going to unlock the next level of my health. I had to improve my willingness to accept change. Every single year I'm doing that. So I talked about small and large intestines cleanse, parasite cleanse, talk about liver cleanse. I did not stop there. I also improved how I can clean out kidneys. Did you know you could develop kidney stones? And they're actually detox teas that you can make in the comfort of your own home that you can drink that's going to help dissolve kidney stones. None of this professional medical advice, this is treatment. I'm just providing some very powerful tools in this CD set. Your wish is your command. We talked about who do you listen to? Many of us were listening to all the wrong people. Listen to people who have been where you are and where you want to be. Next, you got to increase your teachability index. What is your willingness to learn? Many people, they are pure conference warrior. They have libraries full of books, but they're still overweight. They still broke. Their relationships hasn't grown. They haven't improved. Why? They don't have that willingness to accept change. They're not taking any action to actually better their own personal life. And this is the type of information most people don't want to confront themselves with. They rather watch another video that makes them feel good, that just says, hey, you just got to journal more. You're going to visualize more. You're going to buy more crystals. Listen to a meditation track. If that crystal isn't working, more. And that's the detours that they have you on. But those people, they're creating those YouTube videos, they're winning. They're uploading. Do you see what I'm talking about? They're actually taking action. Now, I also want to talk about how you can get this program completely for free for those of you jumping on. All you have to do is go to any one of my videos. Go to any one of my videos. You're going to tap on this first link. Tap on this first link will take you to the sales page. You don't have to read through all of it. You can just tap buy now. If you tap on buy now, there's going to be, scrolling down a little bit, there's going to be a section where you put in your coupon code. It's YWIYC. You hit apply. Once you hit apply, you can see the discount code has been applied. Save yourself $500. People pay over $10,000. People pay $10,000 to see Kevin in person years ago for this information. Now you're getting, I don't know how long it's going to have it on the internet like this, okay? You're going to come back on top, fill out your contact, billing, payment information. It's not going to charge you anything. It's going to find people who are actually serious about this program. Tap complete my order, and you want to check your inbox a little bit. If it's not there, check your spam folder. If it's in your spam folder, we drag it back. Hey, thanks for jumping on the call. If you have any questions for me, just put it in the comments. Be happy to help you answer any questions that you may have regarding your wishes or command, or questions regarding the information I'm sharing right now. All right. I love this next lesson. It's such a powerful lesson. When I started listening to the CD set, I had to listen to it multiple times because it did not make any sense for me whatsoever. I was like, what is Kevin talking about? So training balance scale. So think of a scale that tilts back and forth, okay? On one side of the scale, it's about how you think and how you feel, your why, your dreams, goals, attitudes, motivation, vibration, internal motivation. Okay, how you think and how you feel. That's one side of the scale. On the other side of the scale are the how actions, the specific techniques, the strategies, the action steps, the plans, activities, physical action. In the world of personal development, they always tell you that you're not enough. The reason why you're not achieving the goals that you want is because you don't know the how actions. You don't know the specific techniques. That's why you got to come to this event. You got to buy another book. You got to get yourself another audio set. You don't know the strategy. You don't know the action steps. You don't know the activities. And this is a big detour that they throw out at you in the personal development. Because according to Kevin Trudeau, he says, you got to place a lot more emphasis on how you think and how you feel. Napoleon Hill, he wrote the book, Think and Grow Rich. He didn't write the book. You got to know all the action steps. You got to know all the specific techniques, and then you grow rich. And I could be wrong. I think what Kevin is sharing, it has a lot to do with the subconscious programming. Okay? We all know about this chart. At the top of the iceberg, this is the conscious thinking, the short-term memory, the logical thinking, your willpower, which is very limited, your decisions, your analysis. We think that we're so brilliant. We think that we're so smart. People think that we got to get another degree. I got to go to school, okay? I got to find the next strategy, the action steps. ChatGPT will provide you with all that and then some. If you go to Google, you don't know how to do something, well, you just type in your question. There's going to be thousands and thousands of videos. You're not the first person to struggle with it. What's really driving everything are your habits and beliefs in the unconscious thinking, in the subconscious mind, where your real values are, where your creativity, your self-worth, your imagination, long-term memory, even your automatic bodily functions right now, your body's trying to maintain homeostasis. Without your conscious thinking, your heart has got to be going at a certain rate, respiratory rate, your blood pressure, your body temperature. That is the automatic bodily function. That is tied in with your subconscious programming. Over the years, we had so much poor programming that's been installed in our subconscious mind intentionally. They want to install failure into your subconscious mind. So you continue to stumble your way through life. They do not want you to win. The training balance scale has a lot to do with your subconscious programming, how you think and how you feel at a much deeper level, at the subconscious level. Your dreams, goals, and attitudes at the subconscious level. What is really beneath the surface when you're just quiet by yourself, when you're just folding laundry by yourself, when you're sitting there in traffic by yourself, without the distractions of music, without the distractions of anything else? What is really cranking in the back of your mind? Can you step yourself outside and observe your thoughts for a moment? Are you thinking about the frustrations of work? Maybe imaginary conversation with other people? Just a lot of argumentative conversations trying to prove that you're right. Okay? Or you're thinking about disappointments of the past. And that is just cranking there in the back of your mind. That's really what's underneath the surface. Those are your true habits, your true beliefs, your true values. Many people think that I'll have a positive mental attitude. Everybody can do that for 5 minutes before they start scrolling on Instagram, and then they're presented with a whole bunch of negative information. And now their subconscious mind is on that wheel of negative thinking. Another reason why a lot of people struggle with loss rebound, because they've been watching all these TV shows of absolute losers. So if you've been watching different TV shows, I have in the past as well. It's been many years. I don't watch these TV shows anymore. Many people, they can identify with these characters. This is Hank Hill, King in the Hill. Who else do you have? This guy on Cheers. There used to be all these reruns of Cheers when I was growing up. People loved this guy because people thought it was very funny. Who else do we have? We have Homer Simpson, right? Just another average looking dude, always drinking beer. The only thing that he looked forward to was probably going back home, drinking more beer. Who else do we have? We have Al Bundy, married with children, another average looking guy in an average looking home. But people identify with this guy. And they're just watching these TV shows one after the next, one after the next. And that's what's been installed in the subconscious mind. In their subconscious mind, they have somebody there with a dad bod. This is very important. I want you guys to understand what is really installed underneath the surface. You're trying to use behavior to change your life, but your blueprint within is somebody with a dad bod. This person, that unseen person within, they feel safe in that dad bod environment because every single day you're installing deeper image of this dad bod, right? The Family Guy. You got Al Bundy down there. You got Homer Simpson. This guy on Cheers. You got Hank Hill down there. So this subconscious mind, the habits and beliefs, the identity, the self-worth, the imagination, the self-confidence is tied to these characters. Let me share with you what happens. Most people, they say they want to get six-pack abs, right? They have all the motivation. I'm going to get it. Going to go after it. This is my year, 2025. It's already June. I hope you got your six-pack to get those photos taken for your Instagram or social media. So they go to the gym and they push really hard. They do calorie counting. They do all this motivational stuff. And they get the photos taken in the summertime. Six-pack abs, okay? Congratulations. What happens in the fall? Well, the fall kicks in, activity level goes down, and before you know it, you are in the cycle of what happens in fall, which is, well, October, what do you have? You have Halloween, a lot of candy, people be dishing out left and right, there's always sweets laying around, and if you work in tech, there's already all these free sodas and drinks that you drink every single day. On top of that, people are putting a whole bunch of donuts right in front of you in the coffee room, break room. What else do you have? A couple of weeks later, you are dealing with Thanksgiving. You're being invited to multiple Thanksgiving dinners, and now you're eating meals on top of meals. Before you're so full on one meal, and the next day you're at another Thanksgiving dinner. A couple of weeks later, you are at the Christmas parties, right? One after the next. It could be Kwanzaa, it could be Hanukkah. I don't care what you celebrate. There's always a lot of food in the fourth quarter. A couple of days after Christmas, you have New Year's. People are drinking out, club rats, popping bottles, right? More sweets. more hangover, activities. This is what happens. Down there beneath the surface, in your blueprint, you have these guys. You have this guy from Family Guy. You have Al Bundy. Okay? You have Homer Simpson. You have this guy from Cheers. You have this guy from King of the Hill, Hank Hill. Your blueprint is somebody there with a dad bod. So you will always revert back to that dad bod. Doesn't matter how hard you work. 7 months out of the year, you get your photos taken, but the blueprint is always going to override. It's always going to override. So this is the reason why Kevin teaches the training balance game. Most of you think that the reason why I don't have my six packs because I'm missing more information off my radar screen. I need the next strategies. Maybe I'm the wrong diet. Maybe I don't have the right coaching. Okay. Maybe there's something deeper. Maybe it's about how you think and how you feel about yourself at a very, very deep level. You only deserve that six pack for 3 months out of the year. Okay. That's what your blueprint allows. In the next 9 months, you're going to go back to this guy. You're going to be Hank Hill. You're going to be this guy on Cheers. You're going to be Homer Simpson. The more you watch these TV shows, the more you identify with these characters, that blueprint is so set, you're never going to have six-pack abs throughout the whole year. Me, homeboy over here, I had six-pack abs throughout the whole year, but I'm in a different place. When I was a teenager, I was skateboarding every single day. I was playing basketball every single day. I had a six-pack abs. I never really watched these TV shows. I was disgusted with myself when I looked myself in the mirror and I did not see a six-pack ab. A lot of folks, they have a dad bod, they look in the mirror, they don't have that sense of disgust. They think they look great because that blueprint is a mirror image of these guys. Not only that, you can think about another TV show. Oh, was it South Park? That's what it was. South Park, okay? You keep on watching this show. Everybody loves Cartman. Everybody loves Cartman, right? Is Cartman in shape? No, he is not. The more you keep watching this guy, the more you identify with Cartman. You think that is okay for me to just roll around like Cartman. In my 20s and 30s, I had a lot of problems weight loss rebound. That my blueprint is still a six-pack abs. So what did I have to do? I had to improve my teachability index, learning information out of my scope of awareness, because it's going to the gym and cutting my calories or counting my calories wasn't getting it done. Anyway, I'm just saying your path may be different. Some people got to do a combination of both. They got to first, you got to have a new image of yourself. What does that future version look like? Can you imagine what that future version of yourself look like? Can you learn to communicate with that future version? That's something I want to share with you today. Because a lot of you don't know what the future is all about because you never really thought about it. You never really thought about, all right, this future version of myself, how would this person speak? How would this person look in the mirror? How would this person respond to different people, situations, circumstances? At work, with social circles, how will this person improve to the next level? Is there a roadmap for this? Well, I want to share with you something that I came across very recently, and it's been a very, very powerful tool that I've been using. This tool is called the Future You AI Coach. The Future You AI Coach. Something that I've been using for over a month now, and I highly recommend you guys to check it out when you can. This program is about how did you turn your ideal future self into a personalized AI coach in just 60 minutes, okay? Using 3 simple prompts. If you're interested in using AI, if you're interested in using ChatGPT, you want to learn a little bit more about ChatGPT, this is a $10 program with a money-back guarantee. I want you guys to take a quick look at this because you can actually develop an AI coach. And this is an AI coach that is a future version of yourself. If you want to get immediate clarity on your next step, daily accountability that fits your style, and guidance that actually sticks, using the only mentor who truly gets you, you. Check out this program. And you don't need to be super technical. You don't need to be, you don't have to code. You just have to be great at following directions. If you know how to copy and paste, you can use this program. I highly recommend you guys check out this program. I'll put the link in the comments later on. Okay, but you can also see it. I have it in my comments here. I also have here my program. My program is not refundable. If you want to get my program, you can certainly do it. If you want to lose 3 to 5 pounds without going to the gym, that is the program. Right? What else do you have? I also have this other program that I've been using the last almost a full month. I started in the beginning of June, and I learned so many interesting AI tools that are out there. If you want to reset, if you want a very, very good reset, a month-long sabbatical, reset yourself. If you want to focus on what matters and transform your uncertainties into opportunities, this is a 30-day reset. I highly recommend you guys check it out. Okay, I will also leave these links in the comments later so you guys can check them out. Take a short break before we move on to the next lesson. So for those of you jumping on the call, let me know what questions you may have. I've been going through a lot of information regarding Kevin Trudeau's Your Wish is Your Command. You guys can go back earlier, show people how you can get this program completely for free. Other people that pay $10,000 in person to get this information, now you can just get it for free. But don't just treat it like another free program. If you really want to go to the next level in your life, it's about increasing your teachability index. You got to increase your willingness to learn and your willingness to accept change. Okay? So let me just get some water. So how are you doing? Where are you from? Let me know in the comments. Be great to communicate with you. Let me know how I can help. I'm talking about personal development, but we also talked about digestive health. I can also provide some guidance regarding digestive health if you're interested. Of course, this is not professional medical advice, diagnosis treatment. Thank you for jumping on the call. Really appreciate you. All right. I'm going to talk about this four steps to learning. What is this all about? We all go through these different stages of learning, and we go from a place of unconscious competence and we move our way up. Let's just take if you are riding a bike for the first time. You don't know what you're doing. You don't know how to ride that bike. But you got some family and loved ones around you, and they're going to teach you how to ride that bike. They're going to say, hey, you want to put your hands on these handles and you want to pedal just like this, in this way. Maybe you're not riding a bicycle right off the bat. You have to get some training wheels, or you're riding on a tricycle. And that's perfectly fine. But you're going to practice at it again and again. You're going to get better at it. Okay. And you're going to develop something called conscious incompetence. What that means is, okay, you're riding on this tricycle, but you're looking at your neighborhood kids. They're way more advanced than you are. They've been riding that bike for over a year now, and now they're popping wheelies, or they're riding a bicycle without their hand on their handles. You're like, wow, there's so much I don't know about riding a bicycle. You know that you don't know something. But over time, you're going to get better and better riding this bicycle. You're going to develop something called conscious confidence. You know that you know something. You're going to get back on that bike every single day, or that tricycle, develop the neurology for riding this bicycle. You're going to get better and better at it. And over time, you're like, you know what? Maybe I don't have to ride a tricycle anymore. I can take off the training wheels. And now I'm riding on this bike. I'm going to learn to begin to balance on this bike. And your brain is start to fire a wire for this piece of equipment. Right? Just a couple of weeks ago, you don't know what you're doing, but now you're developing conscious incompetence, developing conscious competence at riding a bicycle. And before you know it, maybe you're riding for a couple of months. Now you're developing unconscious confidence. You know, and success is automatic. Your neighborhood kids gonna call you up and says, "Hey, we're gonna go ride our bikes," and you're gonna jump on that bike and go with them, and that's what's gonna happen. Now, there may be many years you never even use a bike. Let's just say you go to college, you go start working, and most of the time you're just driving a car, and you don't ride a bike for many years. You go to a vacation with your friends, with your family, and they have a spark of inspiration. They say, "Let's go do some bike rentals. We're going to go on this bike trail." In that moment, you're not going to be very anxious because you already know how to ride a bike. Even though you haven't been on a bike for many years, that's not going to bring any anxiety in you. You guys going to rent that bike. Doesn't matter what brand that bike is, and you're just going to go. And that's what learning is all about. Doesn't matter if you're tying shoelaces, you're using chopsticks for the first time, or you're driving stick shift in your car. We all go through this process. In the world of personal development, you're going to go through these cycles again and again. You may be at a place of unconscious competence, but for some reason, you're going to learn some new things, and all of a sudden, you go back to a place of a beginner. All of a sudden, something unlocks, something shifts, and you're like, there's so much I don't know. And you can start from the beginning again. I had to go through that multiple times, and I'm still in it. Just because I figured out something in my own personal health. Before, I have a program, it's called the Mega Food Transformation Challenge. Lose 3 to 5 pounds per month without going to the gym. Whatever I was doing before wasn't working. Going to the gym, calorie counting, fitness pal wasn't working. I started learning about detoxification, learning about natural health, and that's what unlocked it. But I didn't just stop there. It wasn't enough to keep on doing the same thing over and over. I had to go to the next level in my transformation and learn about internal parasites that I could be plagued with. And many people, when I share this information with them, they don't believe me. They just completely ignore it, right? So I went down on that path. I was very teachable. I picked up many different books, and there are a lot of free books you can find online. Library of Congress, archive.org, or just go to your local library. There are so many parasites. There are flatworms, there are liver flukes, there are roundworms, there are even single cell protozoans, okay? And they can have an effect in your body. They know how to do two things. They know how to survive and replicate very, very well. Now I have a whole other presentation regarding this. If you guys are ever interested, I can go over this information. It just depends on your interest. If you leave it in the comments, let me know in the chat box below. But I didn't just stop there. You can go from a place of expert, and then all of a sudden, you're at a place of a beginner. In a moment, just like that, you go from unconscious competence to unconscious incompetence. You don't know what you don't know. And there was a time I knew nothing about liver health. I had to go and pick up books on liver health. I was taking different supplements for liver health. They weren't really working. And I came across this book. It's called The Amazing Liver and Gallbladder Flush by Andreas Moritz. I had to flush out gallstones from the gallbladder, and also intrahepatic stones from the liver. And for many people, listen to this call, and you're like, I have no idea what we're talking about. Well, I'm just getting warmed up. Or for many people out there that are suffering with kidney problems, did you know there are herbal products out there, herbal teas that you can make that can help you dissolve kidney stones? Many people don't know about that. And every single year, I'm applying these lessons. I'm learning more. And from that, I'm applying more. I'm learning more, I'm applying more. I'm learning more, I'm applying more. There's always something that I don't know that gets unlocked. And that's what I find very fascinating about life, because I hate going to the hospital. I don't like to see my doctor. I don't want to see them. And the only way I can avoid seeing them is because I need to take care of my health right off the bat. I can't wait until there is a problem. Previously, I was talking about the training balance scale, right? They're installing failure in your subconscious mind using these characters on TV. And everybody loves Cartman, right? So I'm gonna save Cartman on here. What else are they installing in your subconscious mind? Well, your family's been installing a lot of things in the subconscious mind, and not all of them are serving you. In the areas of health, my family would pass down a lot of incorrect programming. They said that it is unavoidable for you to get diabetes or kidney problems because there are just a lot of ancestors who had this problem. So it is not possible for you to avoid them. I started to evaluate the statement at a very young age. I started asking myself, is this really true? Do I really have to suffer with this chronic disease for the rest of my life? I have to measure my blood sugar every single day, or taking blood sugar, taking insulin. Do I really want that for the rest of my life? And that's something you have to be asking yourself too. Are there people out there that reversed this curse? Now, knocking on wood, I'm very grateful. I don't suffer with any of that stuff because I actually learned how our organs are interconnected, how they can work in unison, how they can orchestrate themselves in harmony. And that's the path that I've been on. And that's the path that I coach myself, my family members, and people that come across my information. So today we cover a lot of information. I want to thank you for those of y'all jumping on the call, okay? And appreciate you. If you have any questions for me, you can leave in the comments below. Have an amazing rest of your day, and I'll talk to you soon.